What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, Prime ready to deliver you our draft analysis for the Totally Average League, the TAL, here on the channel. This is going to be another side league that I'm doing, and the other reason I'm including this is because I'm trying a little bit of something new with the team, and I kind of wanted to just share with you guys how it goes for me. It's a different strategy than other things I've used in the past. It's just my first attempt at it, so we're going to see how it goes. You know, my first attempt solo. And I'll explain more as the strategy becomes apparent. But this is a league run by my buddy Ethan. I've played him in a few different leagues before. We've gone. I wouldn't say we go ways back, but I've been playing him in leagues for quite some time. Found him in a bunch of different leagues through Discord, and unfortunately, a lot of them just didn't work out or didn't last long. But every single time we played so far, we built a bit of a rivalry. I beat him so far, so it'll be nice to have another shot to face him. It'll be nice to give him another shot. He has improved a considerable amount, and a lot of the guys in this league seem to be very, very competent battlers. So I'm really, really looking forward to these upcoming matchups. But show you my draft. Start things off, I grabbed Tapu Koko. Now, if I remember correctly, I was the first overall pick in the draft. So, you know your boy from MPBF Season 1, in love with the Tapu Koko, was not going to be dropped any further in this draft by me. I was definitely scooping out my boy Koko, because you've seen the versatility. You know the versatility of Koko. You appreciate the versatility of Koko, because Koko is awesome. I love Koko. So I picked up Koko round 1, first pick, and just it's so good. Its versatility is amazing. Electric Surge, giving it the extra boost to its stab electric moves, is amazing. Being able to be both physical and special, being able to be mixed, is just stellar. Just absolutely stellar. This is actually one of my Z Crystal users. I forgot to mark that here, but this is actually also one of my Z users. You saw how well Tapu Koko was as a Z user in the MPBF last season, so it's going to be even better of one here. I'm really, really excited to use Koko again. I'm actually going to pull up the doc because I don't remember what my other Z user is. I'll kind of get there when I get there. But, yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Alright, there we go, alright. Oh god. Oh, that's just ghastly. Okay, what happened to I had my logo on the document and somehow it got all fucked up. And I'm gonna fix this now. There we go, there's my beautiful logo. Love it. Love it. Alright, so we got that going on. So, the cool thing about Koko, though, is it's actually going to be my Super Z user. So the way they did it is one Super Z user, which can use any Z moves, and 2 other regular Z Crystal users. Now, Koko has a lot of different options. I'm not going to talk about all of them here because I don't want to reveal my strats, boys. But Koko got himself some options, okay? So y'all better appreciate what I'm planning with this mon, alright? Is gonna be some lit shit. Okay? Okay? Okay. So, for my next 2 picks, because I do have the wheel since I was the first pick, I decided to draft a Rain Core. That is the strat that I'm going with. I wanted a Rain team around Koko, because Tapu Koko in Electric Terrain plus Thunder is scary. So, first mon I picked up for this Rain Core is Pelipper. Now, Pelipper has been touted as probably the best Rain setter in the current metagame, and I'm hard-pressed to disagree with it. Its flying typing takes away its grass weakness. While its flying typing gives it a lot more weaknesses than just being straight-up water type like Politoed, it has a very decent amount of bulk to back it. It has reliable momentum with U-turn, as well as having the stab hurricanes to abuse its own rain with, which is really, really nice. It has some decent coverage as well. It has access to knockoff, which is a big deal. It's a knockoff U-turn, plenty of status options. Roost for reliable recovery, so you don't have to run rest for recovery. You can actually just run roost, which is really nice, and access to defog, which is really huge. So it's good. It has removers. So right now we have 2 defoggers, because I also forgot that Coco got defog in Ultra Sun and Moon, making it even better in Draft League. But Pelipper is really, really good at setting up its hazards. I called it New Orleans because it's kind of a tie between the New Orleans Pelicans in the NBA and the New Orleans Pelipers in the GBA. Shoutouts to John, aka Pokemon. Go check him out for some good Draft League content. I've been following the Pelipers since like season 3 or 4 of the GBA when I really started picking it up. But the New Orleans, the Pelipper, is here with Drizzle setting up that rain. And the first offensive portion of my rain core is going to be Armstrong, the Mega Swampert. Armstrong, because look at those arms, they are quite strong. Mega Swampert gets Swift Swim, which doubles its speed in the rain, which is really tremendous. Base 70 speed just immediately becomes a monstrously fast Pokemon when put in the rain. This thing can nuke opponents with this base 150 attack stat. Also, having base 95 special attack means you might be able to tech some hidden powers on there sometimes. You just don't know, you know? But you can definitely tech some interesting things onto this Mon with the base 95 special attack stat. And having 110 in both defenses with 100 HP overall, this thing is chunky as well as being able to hit like a truck. Waterfalls in the rain from Mega Swampert are just devastating. And Aqua Tail is even slightly more devastating if you decide to run it and miss more than 10% of the time. Because let's be real, if it says 90, it means 10. It's a 10% chance to hit, I mean. Let's be real. But this thing hits like a truck, has a lot of potential. Power Up Punch as a setup option. It also has the ability to be a stealth rocker for our team, which is extremely, extremely important. So having our first rocker here, that could be very, very useful. So Armstrong is here on the team. It's actually my first time, if I remember correctly, using Mega Swampert in Draft League at all. And Mega Swampert's been one of my favorite Megas for ages. And I've always wanted to give it a shot. And even the last time I did Rain, it was actually for an interesting like tag team-ish based league, where we would kind of like discuss plays with a partner. We'd draft one team, discuss plays with a partner each week. We played together, and it was a really cool idea. But we had a little bit of a rain core, but it was a very small rain core. It was just Pelipper and our next draft pick actually. Which shout outs to Victor from the PFL. He is where I got the nickname from for this next Mon from. So shoutouts to him when we get there. But we didn't draft Mega Swampert. We actually drafted Mega Blastoise first initially, and then we traded in for, I believe, Mega Mawile partway through the season. Both of which benefit from Rain in some way, but it's not it's no Mega Swampert. It's no Swift Swim user, so it's cool. But yeah, so we got Mega Swampert, and I wanted at least one more portion to the offensive side of the core at this point. So I only wanted one at this point. So when it came back around to me, I picked up Queendra the Kingdra, always going to be female, always going to be shiny. Queendra is the nickname that Victor always put on our Kingdras for all of our matches in that league. So I'm, as a shout out to him, because he was always one of my bigger rivals and a very, very good partner to have in that league. Shout out to him. I'm nicknaming my Kingdras after that. So again, Swift Swim, doubling its speed with base 85 speed this time. This thing is a lot faster and a lot more threatening. Base 95 in both of its offensive stats allows it to be run in a mixed type fashion and be threatening in that fashion as well. Can hit hard enough on both sides to truly, truly devastate any opponent, which is really, really awesome. It's super, super strong, super, super quick, and it is Z user number 2. Just imagine like a Kingdra just chilling out in the rain and just dropping a Dragonium Z on your head. Or dropping a Waterium Z in the rain on your head. That is a scary thought. This is a strong Pokemon in the rain and has a lot of potential to just tear through you if it wants. And with the Z Crystal access, this thing it becomes even more threatening. It's also very threatening as well if I choose not to bring rain, because it does have access to things like Sniper. Sniper is an ability, so if I want to run a Critra set 1 week, I can run Agility or Dragon Dance with Focus Energy and just crit everything, get a crit Z move on something, and just tear through a team that way. So there's a lot of different options of how I can go about with Kingdra. Kingdra is not just locked in as just, I need rain. Kingdra can do other things as well, which is really, really nice. Plus, it's a Dragon type, so we have a Dragon type for a Fairy Dragon Steel Core, kind of building that there. We already have 3 Water types, so it's not drafting another Water type there. There's enough problems with that. I do like this core, though. I do like this Water type core, because regardless of like the fact that all 3 are like have some of the same neutral issues, you know, Swampert's only weak to grass. 4 times weak to grass. But Pelipper and Kingdra are both neutral to grass. So it's not as scary of a situation there. As well as, you know, Pelipper's 4 times weak to electric. Well, Armstrong here does not care about electric moves. And Kingdra here is neutral to electric moves. You know, stuff like that. So the 3 pair up really, really nicely together. And mind you, also, like, one of the only weaknesses to Kingdra is either Dragon or Fairy, and one of those 2 weaknesses, I have an immunity right here in Tapu Koko. So this core right here so far works really, really well together, and I'm really, really happy that I was able to scoop it up. The next Mon that we drafted right after Kingdra is something that does benefit well from the rain as well, and that is Free Hugs, the Ferrothorn. Once the rain's up, all those Fire-type moves are going to be weakened. And what benefits better from having weakened Fire-type moves than a Mon that is 4 times weak to Fire? Ferrothorn is extremely, extremely bulky. Having access to both Spikes and Spikes and Stealth Rocks makes it very, very useful as a hazard setter. Also having access to Leech Seed to give it some form of recovery. Gyro Ball to be very damaging. 94 attack stat is nothing to laugh at. And between its 131 defense and 116 SPDF, it's really, really hard to break through a Ferrothorn, especially one in the rain, because its biggest weakness is now no longer as bad of a weakness. So you're really not worrying too much on that note. Ferrothorn has a lot of potential. It can do a lot of things for our team. I'm really, really excited to use it. Between its supportive options with different status and hazard setting, plus its bulk, it could be a it's going to be a very valuable member to the squad. It actually completes our Fairy Dragon Steel Core, which is a very, very nice one. We got a Ferrothorn, Kingdra, and Tapu Koko to form that core up, which is nice. Also gives us the grass component for a Fire Water Grass core, but spoilers, we are not drafting any Fire types because we are a rain team. Why would we draft a Fire type when we're just making Fire types weaker? Duh! It's insane. I've seen so many Fire types get drafted on rain teams. I'm just kind of like, you're going to have to be playing some next level shit to make that work. It's doable. It's definitely doable, but you have to play real well because you can end up in those situations where, oh, I can't use a Fire move now. I have to use another move, and I guess it won't fucking kill now, will it? Oh, it actually kind of goes back to way back. It's a situation where back when I had my Wi-Fi battle with the King Nappy, it was his 8th on his ORAS Wi-Fi battling series and such. It was a good battle. He ended up setting up Rain with his Mega Swampert, and then ended up in a situation where he had his Chandelure in against my Machamp. And the strongest move he could use against me was Shadow Ball, because Fire Blast before, well, it did like 48%, and potentially was a roll to kill my Machamp. he had to go for Shadow Ball because in the rain, the Fire Blast was going to do much, much less. So it's situations like that that, you know, make fire types not very handy on rain teams. But coming back around, I was looking at my team and I'm like, you know what? I have my rain core. This is going to be my main offense. Now I just want to supplement this with bulk. I want fat things to just eat hits and support my team. And that is what I went for. And the first one I picked up was Hard Body the Reuniclus. Now, Hard Body is just that. A hard ass body. But yeah, Reuniclus provides me a lot of options. First off, 110 HP makes these 2 defensive stats perfect. This thing's still ridiculously fat. Don't be shocked by these numbers. They don't mean shit. Because Reuniclus is a fat mon, and if anyone tells you otherwise, they are lying to your face. Regenerator and Magikarp are 2 amazing abilities. Regen allowing you to gain that. You have a reliable way of just gaining HP back by just switching out of the matchup. And Magikarp preventing any form of external damage besides getting hit in the face from hurting you. That is huge. That is amazing to have on the team. This thing's just so chunky. A bulky Psychic type is something huge to have in League format, especially if you're not drafting Mega Lopunny. This thing walls certain fighting types outright that just can't. There's certain things it just can't touch you. For example, things like Mega Medicham, Mega Lopunny cannot break something like Reuniclus. They don't have the moves in their move pool. They have to use things that are non-stab neutral to try and break through it, and they're just not going to do it. Add in the fact that this thing has a 125 special attack stat. Maybe that's why I made it Z user number 3. Because, if I'm going to be honest with you, like, look, I know you're going to judge me for Z Reuniclus. I get it. But I've had it before in a league. I don't remember what league it was, but Z Reuniclus was a thing. I think I picked up a team that had Z Reuniclus on it or something like that, and I didn't touch that Reuniclus. I didn't touch a Z move on that Reuniclus all season. And then there just ended up being a scenario where I was like 1v1 against something. And I needed, and I was able to pop off a Ghostium Z, and I'm pretty sure it picked up a kill, or it was very close to picking up the kill. I think I needed rocks up to do it or something like that. But regardless, I was able to pick off something, or heavily weaken something that was extremely crucial for my team to break through in order for us to potentially pick up a win. And it's a very sneaky Z user, because most people are going to be expecting it to be becoming bulky. Most people are going to be expecting it to be more defensive in nature than offensive, and this thing can just do. This thing does it. I think this has more of a potential to do offensive as well, because of, you know, being that strong. So that's Reuniclus for you. One thing that Reuniclus does provide me, though, which is really, really cool, is a Trick Room option. Yes, Trick Room. Another type of strategy that I've never really quite mastered, and we'll see how it goes. But having Trick Room is really, really nice, because I do have some slower mons as we get later in the draft. I already do have Ferrothorn, which is really slow, and you know, Armstrong outside of rain is kind of slow as well. So if I end up in those situations, I can maybe use Trick Room to my advantage against my opponents, and it could be really fucking dope. So there's that. Next up, we have Kayla the Umbreon. R.I.P. Kayla. This is for you, girl. A friend of mine who passed away this past year. Her favorite Pokemon was Umbreon, so I made a shiny Umbreon in this league and made it female and nicknamed it after her in tribute. 95 HP, 110 defense, and 130 def. This thing is chunk after chunk after chunk. This thing is bulky. Umbreon is one of the fattest mons in competitive Pokemon. It is really, really hard to break through. It's an amazing cleric, Wish, Protect, Heal Bell, things like that. Can pretty much Toxic Stall or Status Stall something down really, really easily. Foul Play hits really, really hard once you drop that attack stat down real low. It's just a bulky mon to benefit for our team to benefit from. Allows our team to have something that can status things, whittle them down, stall things out, stall out some serious threats, and allow us to break through eventually with our Rain Core, which would be really, really cool. Just a really big fan of Umbreon, and I'm really, really looking forward to using it this season. I haven't used an Umbreon competitively or in a league in a very, very long time, so it'd be really, really nice to test it out again, see how it fares. But the next mon we're gonna pick up here is gonna be Mulan, our Mienshao, another female always mon. We have 3 mons in our team that are only ever going to be females, which is really, really cool. But we got Mienshao here. Mienshao has 3 awesome abilities. Inner Focus is really cool. Not being able to flinch, can be very, very important in certain matchups against certain mons that might be, running fake out or something along those lines. You can just go straight in, hit up a high jump kick or something along those lines, and not flinch and just kill things. So that'd be cool. Regenerator. So we have a regen core with Reuniclus, which is really cool. Regenerator is very nice to have because gaining back HP is pretty nice, right? Like I love having HP. HP is good. With a mon like this, it helps Mienshao, which is more of an offensive mon as well. So you can run things like Life Orb, and then take the couple Life Orb hits, maybe break a mon or two, and then switch out and gain back all those Life Orb hits. So you pretty much have almost infinite Life Orb hits with this mon, which is really, really cool. As well as Reckless for its high jump kicks to boost the power of those high jump kicks and break through mons a lot easier. With its offensive stats the way that they are, 125 attack, obviously you're going to want to run it physical a little bit more often, but 95 special attack, you can tech on hidden powers on this thing without really missing out on too much, and it can be very, very useful, especially if you're teching on like 4 times effective hidden powers that maybe, they have something that can switch in easily to this mon. They can't switch in easily anymore because of that hidden power. So very, very useful mon in that sense. 105 speed, breaking the 100 speed barrier, which is really, really cool. Really helps my speed tiers a little bit there because Coco was really our fastest mon at this point outside of Rain. So having a mon that's over 100 out of Rain right here is very, very useful. So really, really pleased with having Mienshao. Oh, I hate technology. Well, they might cut out right when I first started talking about Alolan Muck, so we're just going to jump right back in. Alolan Muck is a possible Trick Room abuser for our team, with base 50 speed being pretty low. It has a lot of potential to do some damage in Trick Room. It is also a Dark type, allowing it to have Stab, Knockoff, and also be a Stab Pursuit Trapper, which could be very, very useful for the team. So that's really, really cool. Stab Knockoff and Stab Pursuit is huge. Poison Touch is a great ability because you can snag some key poisons on mons you might not have been expecting to poison, so it can really help whittle down an opposing team. It's really, really great. As well as Gluttony with the new 50% raising berries. That can be very, very great. Its overall bulk is fantastic. It's a really, really bulky mon, and that hits really, really hard with 105 attack. And on top of that, being a grounded poison type makes it 10,000 times more useful, because if my opponent wants to try to set up Toxic Spikes, I don't want to have to specifically go into Pelipper or specifically go into Coco and try to defog things. I don't want to have to do that to get rid of those toxic spikes. Having them on that I can just plop on the field and remove those toxic spikes is very, very huge. Even if, you know, it's late in the game and I have to just sack a Muck in order to do it. If I have to bring Muck in and he's like not as useful anymore, I have to bring Muck in and then sack it in order to get rid of those toxic spikes for the rest of my team to continue whittling down and beating down my opponent's team. I will definitely do that. I'm not opposed. As long as it gets rid of the toxic spikes, it's great. So, Straight Trippin' has a lot of potential options for our team, and I'm really, really happy to have it. Now, when I said I was done with Rain Abusers, I ended up being wrong, because there was a couple different options I had later in the draft that I wanted for spinners, and a lot of them got picked up. And so I decided to go for what am I? Because really, what the fuck is Armaldo? I don't remember the name of the creature that's specifically based off of, but God, what am I? Armaldo, Jesus Christ. Eyes on the side of your head, what the fuck are you doing? But Armaldo is our rapid spinner for the team because I didn't want to just have defog as my only hazard removal option. It's kind of a bad thing to do in a draft league. You should have both forms, personally. At least that's my personal opinion. Both forms is much better than only one. So we do have a rapid spinner here. This is also another stealth rocker on the team, so we do have plenty of options for setting up hazards on our team. We do have one more stealth rock user after this. This is a very, very bulky mon as well. It's very, very bulky. Plus, it can function both in and out of Rain and Trick Room, which is really, really nice. So base 45 speed allows it to be a very, very potent Trick Room sweeper, if I do find that to be a thing I need to do, as well as also being able to abuse Rain with Swift Swim. I can also run it with Battle Armor if I'm building a really bulky set, so that it cannot be crit and can just maybe set up defensively in front of things. I think it does get access to things like Iron Defense. Yes, it does get Iron Defense. Does it get Amnesia? No way to boost my special defense, which is really unfortunate. Well, that's sad, but regardless, it does have potential to set up on things without being able to be critted or killed, and that can be very, very useful for our team as well. It's another knockoff user, which is really, really great. So we have like a bunch of different mons that can use knockoff on the team. Pelipper, Ferrothorn, Mulan, Straight Trippin', and now Armaldo. Forms a priority in form of Aquajet and stuff like that. It's just an overall really, really good Pokemon, and I'm really, really happy to have it on the team. Armaldo has a lot of potential to do some good things for us. I really wish it learned Spikes, but that's unfortunate. I think it should, but hey, we'll get there when we get there. But just good Pokemon, just really good Pokemon, and I'm really, really happy with it. And yeah, that's Armaldo for you. The last mon we picked up, and it's a mon that will always be brought shiny because its shiny is so cool, and it works with its nickname. I've wanted to use this in draft. I drafted it, I think, on my PFL team a little while back, but it didn't see any play because it didn't have access to stealth rocks and it just didn't fit any of my team builds. But we got Frank Castle, the Palisand. Because he's black, he's the Punisher, and he's going to punish all of y'all. Specifically male because it's Frank Castle. Water Compaction is a stupid ability. It makes you think that you're immune to water and it makes you feel immune to water, but it's just not. It's just not. You have to take a water type move and it never works out well in your favor. But amazing bulk, 85 HP, 110 defense, and 75 def. Amazing bulk across the board. Just really, really good. Takes a lot of hits for you and just keeps on ticking. 100 special attack is also very, very useful. It is another potential Trick Room abuser with that base 35 speed. 75 attack is not something to laugh at either. Access to things like Destiny Bond, Earth Power, Energy Ball, it's a nice grass coverage. Psychic coverage with, Psychic. Rock coverage with Rock Slide, Shore Up as its own form of reliable recovery, Shadow Ball obviously for stab, Sludge Bomb, why not? And actually did get Stealth Rocks in Ultra Sun and Moon, which makes Palisand a much, much more useful Pokemon in the long run. It's really, really useful with Stealth Rocks. It's good. It's another good Stealth Rock user for our team. More than enough Stealth Rock users for our team to prosper, I think, and can do a lot of good things for us. I love Palisand. Plus, being a Ghost type, that actually allows us to spin Block on opponents as well, which is really, really useful. So if they don't have anything, if their spinner isn't have anything that can threaten Palisand, maybe it's not like a Water type spinner or something along those lines, or something that packs a knockoff, or some other type of like coverage for its Ghost typing and whatnot, we can easily bring Palisand in, bulk a hit, or stop a rapid spin, and keep our hazards up on the field, while potentially even setting up our own, or potentially even setting up more. Like if we have spikes and we can spin block and then set up rocks with Palisand, it'd be great. But that is going to be our team. As you can see, we try to build really hard around the rain. We only have 2 Mons on the whole team that are weak to water type moves, which is really, really nice. And we have plenty of things that resist / kill water types. So, like rain, I don't see hurting us too much. The only thing I'm worried about is rain can be a little bit predictable when it comes to team building. So, hopefully my opponents, or hopefully I can mitigate that by just using it well. Hopefully I can be skillful enough with this rain team to pick up a whole lot of W's. We are facing someone by the name of Ethan Ball, who is coaching the New York Metagross Week 1, and we will get into that soon enough. I'll have a team builder coming your guys' way with the battle ASAP. But with that, though, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.